In 16th century Japan, during the golden age of the tea ceremony, there lived a fearsome samurai known throughout Kyoto for his quick temper and deadly skill with the blade. Men crossed the street to avoid him. One day, a wealthy lord invited the samurai to a tea ceremony hosted by a gentle tea master who had given up the way of the sword to follow the way of tea. The samurai arrived in full armor, his swords rattling. The other guests shifted nervously, but the tea master greeted him with a deep bow and invited him into the tiny tea house. Inside, the samurai had to remove his swords. Tea house doorways were deliberately built low to force all who entered, samurai or peasant, to bow and leave their weapons outside. This enraged the samurai. Without his swords, he felt naked, disrespected. Throughout the ceremony, the tea master moved with quiet precision, heating water, whisking tea, serving each guest with complete attention. Every gesture was deliberate, peaceful, fully present. The samurai grew more agitated. "This is not the way of a warrior," he muttered. "You were samurai once. Now you play with tea bowls like a woman. You have no honor." The tea master paused, then spoke softly. "The way of tea and the way of the sword are the same. Both require one to face death with composure. You know nothing of death." The samurai stood, his hand instinctively reaching for a sword that wasn't there. "You hide in this toy house, pretending weakness is wisdom." The other guests froze in terror. The tea master remained seated, calm. "If you believe I am weak, then strike me down. But first, allow me to complete this ceremony properly. It would be rude to leave my guests without finishing what I have started." The samurai was taken aback. Any other man would have begged, fled, or fought. But this tea master simply asked to finish serving tea. "When the ceremony ends," the tea master continued, "I will step outside. You may kill me then, but please, let me do this one thing correctly." The samurai sat back down, confused and oddly compelled. He watched as the tea master completed the ceremony, each movement like a meditation, each gesture infused with a strange dignity. The tea master showed no fear, no hurry, no anger, only complete presence in each moment. When the tea master served the samurai his tea, their eyes met. In that moment, the samurai saw something he had never seen in any opponent's eyes before a duel. Absolute peace. Not the peace of ignorance, but the peace of someone who had already accepted death and thus had nothing left to fear. The tea ceremony ended. The tea master bowed to his guests and stood. "I am ready now," he said. But the samurai remained seated, trembling not with rage, but with something he couldn't name. Shame, perhaps, or recognition. "Teach me," the samurai whispered. "What would you learn? How to die like that. How to live like that." The tea master smiled gently. "The way of tea begins with humility. We bow low to enter the tea house. High and low, strong and weak, all must bow. Inside, we are all equal. A warrior's strength means nothing if he cannot also be gentle. True mastery is not dominating others. It is mastering oneself." The samurai began to weep. All his life he had sought respect through fear, honor through violence. But this unarmed man, willing to die over a bowl of tea, possessed something the samurai's sword could never capture: dignity that required no proof. The samurai became the tea master's student. He learned that the same focus required to kill could be used to serve. The same discipline that made him a fearsome warrior could make him a complete human being. Years later, when asked about his transformation, the samurai would say, "I thought humility was weakness. Then I met a man willing to die with grace, and I realized I had never truly been brave. Courage without humility is just anger wearing armor. Humility is not weakness. It is the foundation of true mastery. When you can bow low without losing yourself, When you can be gentle without being weak, when you can face death with peace, then you have found real strength. The warrior who cannot kneel is merely violent. The warrior who can kneel and rise again. This is mastery, inspired from real accounts of the tea ceremony tradition, where it was believed the way of tea was inseparable from the way of the warrior, a path requiring same presence and discipline they'd sought in combat, but with humility instead of pride.